Hello, Gwenters, and welcome back for another episode of Gone Gwenting. It's a Firesworn Friday, and here we are doing a little bit of a different deck than normal. I've been running Hidden Cache. I still think it's pretty meta. If you want a deck link for that, just join my Discord. Let me know. I'll share that with you guys. Honestly, there's a ton of decks out there. I've made some on Hidden Cache before. It's pretty basic. I think there's some changes if you want to be tall on removal. You know, you can add in Philippa for the steal. You can use a lot more of the crime cards for damage. You can add in a poison package. Syndicate's very flexible with those things. But I was just getting bored of it, and I decided to do something a little weirder. So I'm doing off the books just so tributes cost one less. And there's a bunch of like 1 coin tribute cards. Renegade Mage being an example, goes down for 3, does 3 damage, 4-point card, not too shabby. Fizztech Traffickers give you some coins, Street Urchins give you some coins. Fences have a tribute of 3, but you can pay for it by 2. And then you get Vitality for the duration of your coin count. So you can play these like in an early round just to have the Vitality ticking off if you have some coins. Or you can play it in a late round and just slam down the points. The max it can play for is 10 points because you would have 9 coins. You pay a tribute of 3 minus 1 is 2 equals 7. If you don't like math, don't play Syndicate. That's all I can tell you. Then we're doing Sly Seductresses as well. Payroll Specialists have a tribute. This will end up costing 1. They also Intimidate. We have a couple of crimes, but not a lot. But these work well for moving a unit to the other row. You can move somebody back behind Defender, which we are running. You got Calcstein for Purifies, Adriano for point play with Seductresses, Ozar for the defense, Imki for point coin generation, which is also points. Then Savala Louisa combo is still quite good. Because she's 6, she is still playing for high enough that she's hard to remove. Vivaldi Bank just helps with consistency. If you wanted to play fast and loose, you could probably get rid of it. We are playing with Eavesdrop, which does give you some consistency as well. So you could delete 1. I like Eavesdrop as well, just for like a blue coin play. You can get 5 coins and rock it like that. We're not playing Flying Redanian. Flying Redanian can be helpful. It can help you squeak by, but Jacques is one of the better leaders, so we are playing with him. He's still worth 6. Shh, don't tell CDPR. I'm not sure why they nerfed Oberon. Like, Oberon was already one of the worst leaders, and now he's just trash, in my opinion. But that's for next Wild Hunt Wednesday. Alright, let's just jump into some gameplay here. This isn't like the coolest, craziest, or sexiest deck, but it's different enough that you can usually use your different win conditions to pressure the opponent. There's enough tall cards in here that you can really get some good point slam. I will say Syndicate generally doesn't fare as well on blue coin if you miss Passiflora, but so long as you get Passiflora like we did, you are usually pretty safe. I'm running Tactical Advantage right now, but you could sub in Crystal Skull, which I probably would recommend. Also, Tiger's Eye for coins, but like I said, I think Crystal Skull works best. Tinboy is a blind eye, so if he does a lot of row swarming with Rage of the Sea, we're going to just slap down Tinboy and erase all those points. We'll keep Renegade Mage. We'll keep one of the fences, put 1 back. We just need another blind eye, really. Shakedown is a Crown Splitters card. Looks like we have our blind eyes in our Renegade Mages, as well as Adriano and Sly Seductress. So I think here we'll go for a lot of Sly Seductresses, just for a lot of points that way. And then we do have our Payroll Specialist here. So I think we will actually go ahead and use one of these coins and push back this ship. Just worth it. Only costs us 1 coin with these guys. Pretty worthwhile move in my experience, especially when it's a 9-point, so it's hard to remove. Just a great way of putting some pressure on there. Looks like this one might be a great swords deck. I have had a lot of fun. Join me on stream on Twitch, but I have had a lot of fun playing with I think they're calling it like the Corrupted Flaminica Beasts deck. It's a total riot. But join me on stream. I'll be posting that on Monday for Massacre Mondays. Well, let's see if we can't get some stuff going here. I think here, just because they are so many engines, we're gonna go ahead and use Defender. Most Skellige decks, in my experience, are running Devotion, just because Harald is so great. He's such a thick boy, you know what I'm saying? He comes down for those double plays, great consistency, and the damage procs are very useful. He might erase 2 here. That's fine. The more removal we can force out, the better, honestly, in my opinion. Do wish we had a better way of dealing with Herkio. There is a poison package in this deck, but it's not phenomenal. But as we know, Skellige is thriving on removal. I'm tired of removal. I really am. Removal just doesn't take very much forethought, especially when it's like removal point slam with Skellige. I think that's what a lot of people are annoyed about. It's not that we don't like Skellige and we don't like playing Skellige. It's just we're tired of them destroying all of the cards and then slapping down 10-point cards to ruin our day. Really interested as to why he went here. I guess he really wanted this death blow. Poor choice in my opinion, as he had no bronze soldiers in the graveyard. That really was a misplay for him in my opinion. Here we're gonna go ahead and throw down Adriano just because his tribute only costs 4. We can go ahead and use him.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I'm not super concerned about these coins, so we're gonna go ahead and use those now just to get the four horde for Passiflora Peaches. We're gonna go ahead and save Imki and use her a little bit later. Instead, we'll go ahead and throw up a shield here and drop down our other Sly Seductress. Coming down for a meaty 7 points and put a shield on her as well. We now have a good passive engine. He loses on evens, so we're pretty happy about that. And we really didn't have to use too many great cards. Ozar and Passiflora and Adriano. So, pretty good options for us. I was hoping to see a little bit more row stacking. Arena Ghoul coming down for no tribute costs can be really helpful. I think here we'll just try to bully with these mages and our fence, and then maybe even throw down Imki. Arena Ghoul is good, but not superbly necessary, and bleeds not being a huge factor for this Skellige deck in my experience. Here we can go ahead and withhold the tribute just to take the boost. She's a 4 provision cost card, so she just makes for a decent blue coin play. If you really do want that point slam, you do have to pay for it, but quite valuable. A 2-point tribute can net you 7 points in the end of the game, so highly recommended. And here, even when it costs 0, you still have to make sure to click it. I recommend against killing these warriors just because it's not really a point in doing that, especially if you want to try to row stack up for Tin Boy. This bleeding doesn't really represent a major threat to us. I really do want to try to get out Savola and Louisa, and I'd like to get a shield on Imki. I'm thinking I probably do want to take this round a little longer. He's not putting any engines up, so here we're just going to try to grab for something. Obviously we get 3 coins, so the first 3 are free, This one costing 1, 2, and 3 coins each. So we're just going to put down this Arena Ghoul just for points. That also gives us 4 coins, which is enough to put a shield up on Imki, making it difficult for Skellige to remove her right away. And we now have some decent cards out. With a couple of bronzes we're still willing to spend. And then we'll go into hopefully a very short round 3. I'd like him to flip these first, and then we can go ahead and punch him with Renegade Mage. We don't want to deal damage to those unnecessarily.
Sit back, close your eyes. I'll wash you away.
And Jacques' tribute does only cost 3, so we actually net 1 coin from him.
I'll gut you like fishes.
And the biggest difference between Grandmaster and Aldersberg, if you're wondering, is pretty much just this Veil. And then also the gaining 1 coin with Firesworn. So not really any need to maintain him here. And if you're wondering what our opponent played, you can always go to match history and see. It is Raiding Fleet with Vajbjorn. I think he's just kind of going for some consistency there. Not really a big deal for us. I think here we're just going to play Renegade Mage down onto that Drummond Villager.
We too can play with fire. Oh yeah.
Remembering to always pay that tribute. Remember to allot yourself enough time in a turn to have money for that tribute. And here, just kind of paying attention to our coins. Jacques is a profit of 4 with a tribute of 3. We want to make sure we're getting the maximum number of coins here. So we're going to go ahead and put down Jacques now. Although because we did lose he lost on evens, we can go ahead and put down Fence. And we can save Jacques for next round. I should have been explaining that before too. And here we can go ahead and pay tribute or withhold tribute. I want to save the coins. And because he is playing from a position of losing on evens, he is forced into maintaining a card play since he doesn't know what I'm going to do. I mean, if he was a pass now, we would go ahead and win the game. So he's forced into a position of weakness, needing to just get cards out just to stay up ahead of us. And Tin Boy does come down here. I'll probably find maximum value in this round. So I'm kind of forced to choose how much I care about that. But I don't think he puts us ahead by enough. That said, I do want to force him to play one of his last 2 cards. I know that he has Blood Eagle, and I'm guessing the other card is going to be either Haraldon Crate or another really good gold card. And I'd really just want to force him to play everything that he has. We'll go ahead and pay the tribute here. Just because Imki's going to get us 4 more coins to go into next round with. And if he plays something really slow, we might actually just play Jacques to bully him out of this round and close out this game. We don't really have to make that decision quite yet. And our hope and prayer is that we can get Savola and Madame Louisa into our hand. Or at least something similar to make such a choice. Alright, here we know he doesn't have Blood Eagle. I mean, we know that he does have Blood Eagle. And he has a couple of targets set up, plus the Bloodthirst. So we really are in a poor position in terms of countering what he has. So we're going to go ahead and pass, just so we can maintain our card. No reason to punch up 15 points, which we wouldn't be able to do anyway. And he at that time would know that we don't need to play our last card, and he could just go ahead and pass and have card advantage. But Skellige does like the long rounds, and I'm pretty happy, pretty content with where we are. Adalbertus does have a profit of 2, so he does play for more points than the Street Urchins. So we'll go ahead and put them back. Put them back again. And we were maintaining this eavesdrop just so we could get a little bit more consistency here. Looks like we are going to need it. I'm not sure at all what we're going to get. Our prayer would be Savola because we have just enough coins for him. Slice Seductress works probably better than Shakedown, although Shakedown does represent 6 points to us. Slice Seductress could represent that many as well. Just a question of what we want to do. And I think I like Slice Seductress a little bit more just because I can play a little bit slower with my other cards. And she's a spender, so I can spend 3 coins on her to get the armor. Not having played a card is beneficial here. Hemdall coming down for very little value. Put down Slice Seductress just to absorb, with the shield to absorb whatever kind of hit he wants to put down. But just trying to deny Skellige targets, essentially, at this point. We also want to make sure to play to different rows because rain damages 2 random units by 1. So if there's only 1 unit on the row, it will only proc 1 damage. Or at least that's how it should work. I don't necessarily see a point in putting a shield on her. It's a loss of 3 points for Jacques. Well, actually, he can't get his full value here anyway. So it's really only a loss of 2 points, and she does stay on the board if he is playing some kind of removal. Hjalmar coming down with the Banished, likely to remove Adalbertus. Looks like our friend got very lucky with draws. That is what it is.
I shall save humankind from what my visions brought.
Skellige's still looking really nice. Great swords are certainly not a bad option. So, anyway, this is our first game. We're posting honest videos. This is just kind of a shell archetype of a deck that you can use. Obviously, I'd like to see it improved. I will say there, though, like, he drew his Hemdall. He had his Blood Eagle early. He also drew into his other card. Sorry, I'm blanking on the other great card that he had there at the end. But we missed out on 2 of our best point plays, Louisa and Savola. Had we had them, it would have been an open and shut round. Tin Boy very good against Carrack frigates, so we'll keep him around. And you don't have to pay for the tribute in order to do that damage all in a single row. Instead here, we're just kind of looking for poisons are helpful. We are also looking just to kind of make a play with our Passiflora. But we do have a lot of blind eyes. Renegade Mages blind eyes, Street Urchins, Adalbertus. So you really don't have to worry a lot about blind eyes with this deck. Payroll Specialist is also blind eye. So again, Eavesdrop also is a blind eye card. So you can proc a lot of blind eye cards fairly easily with this deck. Here I think we're going to go ahead and play Slice Seductress and get her boosted for that reason. Normally I would be saving some blind eyes, at least 2 of them, for another round, just so I can get a little bit more leverage with Passiflora, making sure I'm able to proc both of the chapters of the scenario. And not just the prologue. But if we're able to get 2 Slice Seductresses out and get them to stick, that's great value for us. Here I'm anticipating Nautilus is going to come down with a Carrack frigate. we'll let it fill up the whole row and then wipe out that row with Tin Boy. Not a lot of these Shieldwall decks are playing Voimir, so missing out on that armor can really damage them. Also, playing into that Amphibious Assault is 2 points right here. Had we had a second one, it would have been triggering the bonded ability, giving them both points for the special card as well. So we're just gonna play out the other one. You can also safely poison your own cards with Syndicate against Northern Realms. Northern Realms not frequently carrying a morale, as they don't have many other, if any, poisons. I don't know why I said many other. They really don't have any poisons. Here we do need the coins, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this Carrick Frigate. It just represents more points to me, and I'd prefer to keep Adriano for a later round when I know Amphibious Assault is likely to come down again. I can use him with the Scenario in order to proc the most points. And if you'd like to get some consistency out of this deck, again, you could cut out Tin Boy. I do like the damage procs. It really kind of just depends on you. We're going to let this poison cook, as he has not spent anything to remove it. We know he probably doesn't have anything that can remove it as Northern Realms. And we're just going to go ahead and let this whole row fill up before we take him down. Again, always making sure to pay that tribute on Arena Gold. It's very important because he will destroy himself if you don't pay that 0 coin tribute. But otherwise, 7-point card still being of decent value there. I'd like to draw him down as many cards as possible just to get the maximum value. At this point, though, we are getting close to where I'm wanting to play this poison. If we can push him out with this play, that's still a win. We can preserve Tin Boy for a future round. If not, he only has 1 armor working here, so this Tin Boy is going to find great value of 2, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 points plus the 4 base out of this Tin Boy without having to pay anything. Here I think we're going to go ahead and use that ability before he's able to armor up.
King of Beggars sends his regards.
Removing some of the boost here, Trident being the only other boosted unit. Really pushing him out of this round. If he decides to play, we're going to go ahead and call his bluff. Sly Seductress being a little out of his range. If he wants to use Bloody Baron, he could take her down by 10 points. He can boost him up right away as well. So I would be down to 19, taking off points each turn, but that's still not quite enough for him to win this round. So we're going to go ahead, let him do that. We're fine with a longer round. Although here we do lose on evens. So. Oh. Always making me make hard choices. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use 2 off the books here. We only have to use 1, sorry. Use Adriano the Mink and spawn another Sly Seductress. That should be enough to close it out. We will take this bleed damage, but regardless of what he plays, they will both be proccing boosts. So she will stay at this 3 points so long as he continues playing cards. Otherwise, he's boosting by 1 to 21 and damaging me down to 26 next round. I also take the bleed damage, but here I'm fine with it. Depending on my draws, I may or may not feel comfortable bleeding. We're just going to have to see what we get. Louisa Savola representing one of the best bleeding card combos in the game. Here, we're going to go ahead and cycle back in this Renegade Mage. And the Eavesdrop. Because we're sitting at 0 coins, I feel comfortable going ahead with Arena Ghoul normally, but because it is Northern Realms and they do have Amphibious Assault, they could catch back up and we could get into a bit of a pinch Furthermore, because we have Azar Javed, we're able to hide a couple of really good cards with defenders. It just kind of comes down to your comfort level. Personally here, I might not wanted to have cycled all those blind eyes back in. But Louisa is a blind eye, as is Adalbertus. So we're going to go ahead and play Scenario to pressure our opponent into making some tough choices this game. And here I probably could use Azar Javed and probably should have used Azar Javed. I'd like to see what he plays down first.
We tanned their black-clad hides at Sodom, we'll tan their black-clad hides again.
Here again, Azar Javed representing a 3-point profit. Because of off the books, where we're able to maintain that extra coin even when we pay the tribute. Visigoda being a great long round play, so we just want to peter out this round as quickly as possible. I think here we'll go ahead and use Adalbertus just to put some scare into him. We'll purify that defender and just let this trickle a little bit. These passive floor peaches currently aren't working for us. They do require a horde of 4. But we have been able here to successfully fish out a Shieldwall. I think I'd like to go 1, if not 2 more cards. The downside here being that when you use Vivaldi Bank, you are not guaranteed that card later on. I really wish they would change it to have more parity with the Menno leader ability, where you're able to choose the order they go back down onto your deck with. But we aren't able to do that, so... Here instead, I think we'll go ahead and use one of these leader charges, and then we can use Vivaldi Bank to look at 6 cards. Here we're able to see Jacques de Alderberg, but I think here we're actually just going to go ahead and take Imke for the passive points and coin generation. She'll be able to feed in some points into these passive Flora Peaches and get us up in our coin count in order to ride into our next round with the maximum number of points. It does count as 2 cards played though, so that does benefit his Visigoda, giving us somewhat difficult choices. Here we do have Arena Ghoul to close out this round with. And again, honestly, my biggest goal here is to force our opponent into playing cards he doesn't want to. These Scarabs representing very minimal value for cards like Ansace. So he is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Here having to spend Ana, which is a much higher spend of a card than he would probably prefer. We can get a lot of coins with Louisa here, but we don't really have anywhere to spend it. Again, this could have been a bit of a misstep on my part, but I'm more concerned about forcing bigger misstep plays for our opponent. The only concern I have at this point is dealing with a shielded Ansace who can wreck nerds against Savola and Savola's Frightener. But here we do get Savola. We do have Louisa still. We have a reasonable number of coins. Rowlock probably isn't going to matter. We're going to use Street Urchins in defense almost certainly, but as a backup as well for coins. I think other cards that we would maybe like to have is Jacques. So we're going to go ahead and put this fence back in, hoping for Jacques, unable to get him. But here now we have some options. We can play Savola after Louisa, but if then she gets killed by an Ansace, we can save Savola and play him with Street Urchins, getting to our 7 coin count. Although we only have to pay a tribute of 8 with him with a profit of 2. So we really only need to get to 6 coins. A Dahlia Drummer representing a very good play from the opponent. Northern Realms just kind of unstoppable unless you're running a very thick removal deck. This is not that. Oh.
Victory is mine, whatever the cost.
It is what it is. Now these street urchins don't actually require any coins, so we're just going to boost them up a few. Savola now will come down for free. We have a couple of street urchins as spenders. We'll try to spread out those points as much as possible, giving our opponent difficult targets. And then we'll play Savola last, just so he has few options as possible. Probably should have only boosted them up a few coins there, but we are, as they say, where we are. We'll get this one to 6, although I think he's already played both of his boiling oils. And indeed he has. Shielded Selkirk represents the loss of this game for us. There's no coming back. Although I do anticipate he'll likely be hotfixed. We really did miss out on Jacques once again. Consistency continuing to be a problem for this deck. So again, we might want to build in Oneiromancy, but there are so many high-profile cards. Usually can be okay. Once again, not carrying forth the win. If you want to win with Syndicate, I still recommend the Horde deck. But I'd like to flesh out this archetype and see if we can get it working. Oh, I think the fact that you can play Northern Realms with so many different leader types is a testament to a faction that's working properly. This faction, in my opinion, not working so great, as Hidden Cash being truly the only option now with Wildcard gone. Blood Money being just a difficult leader ability to get to work. But I know this has been more depressing than some of my other videos. This isn't exactly the most fun deck, and I know a lot of you out there with Syndicate are hoping to watch them and get some decks that are awesome. Trust me, we're going to get there. We're going to get there this season. I just need some more time to develop. I do want to say, though, that this video can serve as just a good example of showing how tributes work at the beginning of a turn and how you can use off the books to reduce the tribute cost. I think Hidden Cash still represents a far better leader ability in the fact that it reduces hordes by 2 points and gains you 3 coins at the beginning of each round. Cash also just has some really great synergy. The Horde cards being really good. There are some great tribute cards, but after the nerf with Louisa, they aren't quite as great, and you only get 2 coins 3 times. Granted, you can use them all in the same turn. You get 2 more provisions, but I would rather take the provision hit to get 3 coins 3 times and have a reduction in tribute costs by 2 coins instead of just 1. I think that would put it on parity with Hidden Cash. You could probably do a lot more with it. Lined Pockets will probably be another one we try out. I think it has some upside potential with Gord, in that you can get a lot of points, crime card points with Townsfolk and Bency Blummervolt, just being really great engines there, as well as your general Intimidate engines. So stick around for that. Please join me on stream where we test out decks and have fun with some crazy stuff that we are seeing. But thank you guys so much. Get out there and keep on Gwenting.